truck loaded with Vicks Vapor Rub overturned on the highway. Amazingly, there was no congestion for 8 hours.
I got it.
Definitely.
I'm sure everybody else did, but I'm not sure if they were.
I got it.
Yeah, I don't know if I liked it.
It wasn't good, but I got it.
Yeah. Welcome back, Weekenders, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Weekend from A to Z. This is episode number, I think it's 137, and it covers the weekend up to March the 1st, 2021. So if you have questions and comments, feel free to email us at theweekend@gmail.com. You can find us on the line on the World Wide Web at on Instagram and Facebook at A to Z Weekend. Past that, anchor.fm/A to Z Weekend, where you will find all 11 locations for our podcast.
Yeah.
I'm
Hi,
JT.
Alan. Hi, JT. Hi, Justin.
I'm Justin.
Hi, guys.
I'm Alan. I was like, what is going on?
I've only been gone for like a week, guys, and this is what happens.
You've been gone the last 3 recordings, man. You're working.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Time.
You trying
I've
to
been
leave us,
working, man. Sucks.
Oh, man, I didn't do any tech news at all.
Oh, no.
Holy cow.
Letting our listeners down today.
I know.
Got focused on the OBS and cameras. We just...
Who earns?
Boo earns, yeah. No, so we can cover like a couple things. So,
give them tech news on the Mevos.
Radio personality, Russ Martin was found dead in his Frisco home. Which, if you don't know Russ, I mean, I used to listen to the Russ Martin show when he was on
the Eagle.
Jagger, the Eagle 97.1. I also listened to him when he was on
105.3. It was
105.3.
Yeah, back when it used to be Live 105.
Yeah. And I liked the Russ Martin show. It was funny to me. They had JD the Klansman and
JD the Klansman.
Yeah, man, it was funny.
I feel like we need characters.
Russ was always talking about his dog licking itself, and
for some reason, I went. This is a couple of weeks ago. I went down a rabbit hole of old Russ Martin stuff that I could find on YouTube and stuff, and I found an old Dallas Observer article that was written on him back in like 2011. When like the contract that they had it was back when Live 105.3 switched over to the Fan, and they got rid of all of their talent and stuff. And I mean, it was not necessarily a really nice article. Apparently he was, they talked to JD because they had a big falling out. They talked to people at the time because for 2 years being the company that had the contract with him, after they closed it, they didn't let him out of the contract so he could go somewhere and work somewhere else. He was still making a really nice salary, but most everybody else was just let go. And so that wasn't necessarily a nice thing. And I've gone back and I've looked at some audio recordings and stuff that they had from, I want to say it was 2019. Apparently, I mean, what it sounded like was he had a pretty big alcohol issue. And I want to say it was just earlier last week or 2 weeks ago, I turned on, I went to the store and I came back and I decided that I was just going to listen, instead of putting on a podcast or whatever, I put it on, it was time for the Russ Martin show. And so I put it on, but Russ was not on the show. It was Dan O'Malley and Chloe and Alfie, but there was no Russ on the show. It was like a Tuesday. So I don't know. It seems that he had some demons over the last several years that he was fighting. So, he was,
so far they've said there's been no foul play, but
no foul play means that somebody didn't kill him.
Well, yeah, I know.
It doesn't mean that
he drank himself to death.
Something bad happened to him.
Suspicious circumstances.
Yeah, there was there's no suspicion, but I mean, it's it's sad. It's sad. He was really funny, but from everything that I've read and the stuff that I've seen, he just his ego kind of took over his life at some point in time.
I mean, think about it. Who famous hasn't let their ego get in the way in some way?
Well, it again from this article
Rock.
in the Observer,
I hope
from this
I don't.
article, from this article in the Observer
James
from
Woods.
10 years ago, it was very much that he, he believed his hype. Do you know what I mean? And he didn't have people there to, or if he had people there to keep him in check, he wasn't listening to them.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Amazon has updated their icon. If you guys noticed,
I noticed that today.
yes.
I was like, "Where's
the new
my
icon.
Amazon app?"
Yeah, it's no longer that weird little shopping cart
It's a
thing.
package.
It's a box.
Is it?
With a little
What's in the
Amazon
box?
Smile. Yes. I'm doing this because there's a box down there. With
No,
the-
mine's still the shopping cart.
You suck, JT.
JT's Android, so
Yeah.
We don't care what stuff looks like. It just has to work.
That's all right. I could argue that. Apple is not switching to USB-C anytime soon. Apparently. Ugh.
Because it'll create more waste, guys.
More waste.
Just do it already.
Just do it.
I mean, so here's the deal. The brick that came in the box from my phone, the brick is USB-C, and then they give me a USB-C to Lightning cable.
Huh?
Why?
I don't understand is the iPads and stuff have USB-C.
Yeah,
Their
the MacBook
MacBooks
Air
have
has
USB-C.
USB-C.
Hmm.
All the peripherals for those things are all USB-C.
It's time,
But
buddy.
the iPhone, still Lightning, because why not?
They probably ordered too many at the beginning.
Maybe. I don't
It's
know.
gonna be this is gonna be a hit. We're not gonna use this forever.
San Diego Comic-Con E3.
wait. I had
Yes,
some
yes.
stuff to say. I'm not allowed to say
okay,
stuff.
all right.
Allowed to say stuff.
Go for it.
No, the issue that I have, fine. If they want to keep the port on the device Lightning or USB-C, that's fine. The thing I'm sick of is them changing the input side from USB-A to USB-C. Why? Because every car changed it. Had to add a USB-A
Mm-hmm.
for their charge ports. Every new modern outlets and stuff are all USB-A. If you have two plugs and then
Mm-hmm.
you have a you'll have a USB-A port in there. Same thing with hotels and all of that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Now they're gonna, and that's the thing, they're not gonna go through and change that. Car companies eventually, when it's enough of a market, they'll change it.
I've seen both C and A in some cars now. I guess the newer cars.
Yeah,
Really?
C and
Okay.
yeah, C and A, but like the other places, like hotels and places like that, it's like, give us some time with this stuff, guys, so we can, so at least to a point in time where it's like, all right, well, it's been 15 years, so now we're going to start phasing these things out and these new things in. Because I'd be mad if I bought a house, and was having stuff built, and I spent money to get new outlets and stuff that had the USB-A chargers on it, and
Mhm.
now those USB-A chargers are worthless.
Obsolete.
Well, a lot of my cables I bought the micro USB
Mhm.
to USB-C adapters just because it's like, well, I'm not gonna buy a whole bunch more cables just because my phone.
Oh,
I
no,
think
exactly.
I have two items that use USB-C: my phone and my Switch. That's it.
My Xbox
Mhm.
controller and the charging brick for my iPhone.
Well, and I don't mind carrying around an adapter or something like
And-
that, but that adapter is for the other side, the part that goes into my phone or my
Yep.
device, not the one that's coming out of the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and kind of on the whole adapter thing with Apple, I saw that it's still been rumored that they're talking about getting rid of the charging port completely.
Altogether. Yep.
But it's like,
yeah,
were they just going to rely on wireless to transfer data and whatnot?
wireless is not, especially to transfer data. I would definitely say
Exactly.
no, because you can sit outside of Starbucks and mimic a Wi-Fi hotspot.
Yeah.
Won't
That
you
makes
be
it-
able to charge your phone over G5 here pretty soon?
Yeah, just put it in the microwave.
Oh
I
yeah, if
think
you don't want
that's,
kids anymore, sure.
I think the microwave is 6G, so it would be
Oh,
yeah,
quicker.
yeah.
no.
No,
Scott,
it is 6G.
That's how you'll grow your tail.
Yes.
That's it.
I want a tail so bad.
So let's see. Back to San Diego Comic-Con, E3, and Anime Expo are canceling their geek gatherings for the second year in a row. Apple will be opening all its retail stores for the first time in a year.
Apple's gonna what now?
Open all their retail stores for the 1st time in a year.
Nice.
Fry's
Future
is
Hurricane-
closing all of their stores.
Yes, Fry's is closing all their stores.
Womp womp.
I'm sad about that. I like.
Hey,
Fry's.
okay, do y'all remember the Garland location? Didn't that used to be an Incredible Universe
Yeah.
before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
So
love
remember it was
Incredible
like
Universe.
spaceship themed?
Yeah, there was the
Smelled
same
good
thing
in
was
there.
at in Arlington off of I-20. There was an Incredible Universe, and then it became a Fry's, and it was weird because when I went into it, and I haven't been in there forever, but I mean, you could the structure was still the same on the inside, like Incredible Universe, because they used to have like a Pizza Hut on top, in that little saucer kind of area on top, and it was like, what's up there now? You couldn't even go up there. It's like, all right,
Because I remember one of them, it was spaceship themed, and then they tried to cover it up by making it cowboy themed.
oh geez.
Yeehaw.
So they had like barrels everywhere. I'm like, okay.
Tumbleweed and stuff.
That's where I want to get my electronics.
Yeah. No, so honestly, that's where I would go.
Nothing says electronics like the Old West.
I would go to Fry's, like if I didn't want to be like bothered too much, because I don't know. Best Buy to me, it's like they have their shills where they'll have the one guy that's like, oh, I have to sell all the Samsung stuff, and I'm not going to care about LG and Samsung and Sony, or the LG and Sony. So I'm just going to push all the Samsung stuff because that's where I'm going to get my spiffs from. So for me, I'm like, I'm not going to go to Best Buy and go talk to those guys to find out about TVs. I'll go to Fry's because to me, every time I've gone into Fry's, they've been very unbiased as far as Fry's and now Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Well, and like what was cool about Fry's is like they had a lot of quote unquote off-brand stuff. So it was like, I get the same thing but cheaper. All right.
Yeah.
And also at the time when I was in college, I mean, you couldn't really buy motherboards and stuff from Best Buy.
No.
If you're building your PC, you can buy some components, but not all of them.
And Fry's, you can buy everything.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Future hurricane seasons might start 2 weeks early.
Yeah.
The iPhone 13 might finally bring a smaller notch and faster screens. Currently, the
Smaller.
refresh-
Wait. What's a notch?
Do you have a 10 or higher?
The bump.
Oh, okay.
So the notch is reportedly going to be smaller, and then it'll be a 120 hertz screen.
There's only one phone that has the beneath display camera.
Yeah, and it's not that good. The camera's not. That's pretty much all my tech news I've got. Mortal Kombat trailer looks awesome.
Get over here.
I'm really interested in that. It looks fantastic to me.
Test your might.
Whoopsie. Yeah.
Ability.
And dark. So D brand. So you remember a while back when PS5 first came out, and there was a company that was called, what were they called? Like PS5 plates or something, and they were going to sell you.
Oh yeah, so you can customize your PS5.
To customize your PS5, and then they got a cease and desist from Sony, and then they got sued by Sony because Sony apparently was like, oh well, we're gonna make these things, but now you can't do it anymore, so we're gonna sue you. So they put them out of business. Well, D brand has actually come by and they made their own plates, and they're like, and they blatantly called out Sony, was like, go ahead, sue us, like we're selling these things, we don't care. So D brand actually has a matte black Sony plates that will make your PlayStation completely black, and I think it looks really sharp.
Now, are these plates that where you can remove them, the white plates from the thing? It's not just a decal or whatever.
They are removable plates.
Okay. Well,
Plate Station. That's what the other company is called. Plate
Station.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why they're getting sued.
No. Well, maybe that's why, but they also came after them because it's like, well,
there's something I want to talk about similar after we discuss this.
No, go
Justin
for it.
was about to say something.
No.
So I saw an article about, remember Jewel? I don't know how relevant they still are.
Toothy?
The singer?
No, the vape thing.
Oh, Jul.
yeah.
Yeah, Jewel.
Yeah. So there's another company that was selling like the cartridges, and Jewel was suing them because they're like, oh, the packaging looks a lot like our stuff, and you're also saying that it's compatible, so it makes it seem like we're selling it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, the first year, sold, I think like $1 million, but then they started catching on. They had celebrities endorse their stuff online and whatnot, and so like the second or third year, they made like 30 million. And then so this is when Jules like, okay, y'all guys just stop using our name, stop branding. Y'all have to stop selling because all the stuff you're saying, it makes us look bad. And all these guys just started taking their money because they're getting sued, and they're shifting them to offshore accounts.
Yep.
Smart.
Yeah.
I'll have to find that article, but it was just kind of funny because like supposedly they've been caught in text and on video chat saying they can sue us, but they're not going to get our money. Like, I'm not going to pay them anything.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Weekends.
Yeah.
Are we there?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Zoom out.
Let's see. I'll go first. We didn't do much of anything. Let's see. I went on Saturday and had breakfast with my sister at First Watch. They're starting to venture out now that she and her husband have both had both doses of the vaccine. So, and they didn't have any issues with, feeling bad after the second dose or anything like that. So, which is great. So it's been 2 weeks since they had their second dose. So they decided to go out. So I went out with them for breakfast, and then I met up with you guys at the underground cigar store.
Yeah.
Just work on the stuff for our setup on next month for the thing that we're doing with them.
Oh, it's this month now.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, as of
was
today.
Was there a calendar invite?
Not yet. I've been so busy on trying to get everything to work. It's been crazy. I'll send it out.
So we have that. But yeah, that's all I did. It was just, it was kind of a rainy, crappy weekend. Nothing too super exciting. And then we just kind of chilled at the house. Yesterday I finally got an email from Tarrant County about about where my spot in line is for COVID vaccinations, which is nice to know that they still have my information after not hearing anything for quite a while. Nice. So they are, as of yesterday afternoon, they said that they are working on dispensing doses for people who registered on the 7th of January. So we are, I registered on the 11th. So hopefully in the next week, I will start hearing stuff. I think that I'm not necessarily happy with the way that they've done things with keeping kind of people in the dark or not sending out any communications. And they say that if you have a question that you need to, you can reach out and they will send you your reference number and all of that stuff. But I don't have a reference, there's a site you can go to and input your reference number and see where you are, your spot in line is. But initially they didn't send anything out with reference numbers. There's no way for you to know that stuff. So listen, it is what it is. I don't think they've done a great job of it. It's just, and the reason that it hasn't been made a big deal of so far in the news is because Dallas County did such a poor job that Tarrant County just kind of stayed shut up, which is smart on their part. But, it just, it's kind of annoying. But that's about it.
You said your sister has both doses?
Yes.
I mean, this is just a random question, but
yeah.
Do they, I'm assuming if she got Pfizer, then her second shot would also be Pfizer?
Yeah, whatever your first dose is, your second dose will be the same manufacturer.
The same one. That's what I figured.
What did you get for breakfast?
Oh, I don't remember. It
was some First Watch is so good.
Yeah, it was funny because my sister called me and I had literally just poured milk in a giant bowl of Frosted Flakes. And I was
bananas?
like, no, just straight up Frosted Flakes. And
great.
and milk. And so I was like, I'm not going, I was like, dude, I just did this. And she was like, well, just come and hang out. So I finished my breakfast, and then I got there and I was like, I could eat. And I got some, I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was one of their, they have some sort of, I want to say hash or whatever. And this one had like mushrooms and peppers and stuff in it. It was all right. It wasn't anything to write home about. We actually didn't have I don't know if our server was new, and I'm not trying to, shit on the server. I'm not that guy, but I mean,
But
Well, I'm gonna
like,
shit on the server.
well, no.
at least on his shoes.
So he they have those they have the juice drinks and stuff. So my niece, who's almost 11, ordered some juice drink, and then he came out with it and spilled it. Like he took something off and was off balance on the thing, and it spilled. And
Poor guy.
It didn't get on my, it almost got on my brother-in-law, which is fine. And it was like, hey man, go back and get, he was like, oh, I'll go get something else. I'll do whatever. And then he comes back later and he was like, we're all out of that juice. And it was like, okay. He was like, it's going to be like 30 minutes for them to make new of that juice. Can we get you something else? And it was like, yes, please get us some, please, she'll take this thing. And then he came back, and before he left, he was like, well, when they make it, I'll bring you out another one for free. And my brain was like, you don't say for free. You just say, I'll bring you out another one. The free should be implied on that stuff. And I mean,
you're not going to charge me for a second drink that I didn't have the first one.
Yeah. And it was, and I
Not
mean,
free refills. There you go.
Yeah, it was just really, like I asked, I had coffee and he was like, oh, do you want cream and sugar with that? And I said, yes, please. And he never brought it. And I never brought it back up to him, which was fine because I can drink coffee black. But it was just one of those things, like his attention to detail wasn't there. And I don't know if it was because he's new or I don't know. It was just really, he seemed very off.
He might be
with whatever was going on, like in the kitchen or whatever. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's not indicative of the service I've had there before, is what I can say.
Have all three of y'all have you all ever waited tables?
Never.
No.
Yes.
I've always been a firm believer in, if you want to go out to eat, I think you need to go wait tables for 6 months. But he didn't sound like he had his S together. Maybe that might not be his field.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I waited tables, but it was one of those, and I was in my early 20s, and it was, it wasn't for me, and I was able to get another job making more money, more consistent money, better, or faster. But it's one of those things. Like, I don't crap on somebody for doing a bad job. I mean, if they're blatantly doing a shitty job, that's one thing. But I mean, again, this guy just seemed off. Like, if he spilled that drink but it was one of those things, like, he never recovered from that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
He just could never get it back. He was not prompt with anything. He always seemed to take about 5 to 10 minutes too long with getting something for us. It was just weird.
Okay.
You didn't have that tag that says "bear with me."
Yeah.
Teddy bear.
Yeah.
Anything else for your weekend?
No, man, that's it.
Okay. For me, let's see. Friday I was off. Wait. No, Friday I worked. Friday I worked, but little guy wasn't feeling well, so stayed in with him and Shannon. Saturday, so we've been watching. We finished The Expanse. We're all caught up on that. We finished that a couple weeks back. Watching WandaVision like we've been doing as well. I've just been watching it. Shannon doesn't watch it. But we've picked up 60 Days In. It comes on A&E, and they take 6 civilians and they put them in jail for 60 days with actual inmates. And while they're in there, they're supposed to be like the eyes and ears of the sheriff in charge to try to figure out, how are they getting contraband in here? How do the race politics work in the jail? How does the
really dangerous?
What do they get? Yeah,
because they're like really bad, right?
It is.
Hey,
It's
is anybody
super
racist in
dangerous.
here?
No, not like that. So like season 5, for instance, they in Pinal County, Arizona, the sheriff there was just like, for some reason, it's extremely racial here in this jail for some reason. So like, if you're, you know, this nationality, you sit with this nationality, you interact with this nationality. Now, when you go to your bunks, you can interact with anybody back there. But when it's time to eat chow, you eat with your nationality. That's it. And like, if you intermingle with other, like if you sit with another nationality outside of your own at lunch, that puts a target on you, because they're like, what is this guy doing? So it's just, but it was just that jail that was like that. The first season is Suffolk County, Illinois, and doesn't really seem like race plays a role there. I think people naturally just kind of gravitate towards their own nationality.
Race usually in those situations, race doesn't play a big deal in jail, like county jail and stuff like that. It plays a big deal in like prison, like state prison or federal prison or something like that. When people are there for, you know, when people are there for
longer periods of time.
Well, when you're there for 5-10 years in county jail, you're not supposed to be there for that long. So usually that it's, you know, it's strange that it's that way in a county jail.
Yeah, I thought it was really weird. But the first 2 seasons are Suffolk County. The season 3 and 4 are Fulton County and Atlanta. We found season 3. It happens to be, we have an Amazon Fire Stick that's jailbroken, so that's how we found season 3. But it's on A&E. Season 6 is brand new. Can't watch it. We haven't watched it yet, but and that's a new jail. But so that show, it's wild. It's so wild. I mean, you've got like a stay-at-home mom that entered this program. You've got a school teachers that.
What do they get out of it?
I mean, they get paid for it. It's not a lot though, like $3,000 for the month, something like that. But a lot of the people seem to be like ex-law enforcement or ex-military trying to go into law enforcement. So I mean, I see the point as far as, you know, why somebody would want that type of experience. For the others that are like, I'm a school teacher, I'm a chef at a restaurant, I'm like, what do you do? Why would you want to do this? Like, to me, they don't get paid enough to do it, because like anyways, I don't want to spoil it.
Has anyone been injured?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Not worth it.
Not worth it.
Yeah, Saturday we recorded the podcast. Mighty Anvil recorded that podcast. I think it went really well. There were some weird sound issues we had. There was like a ticking noise, and then, you know, Scott, you and I know about the AC or the fans or something in that place. There are no fans, but the AC, it makes this
loud
humming noise. It's loud. Yeah, and you can hear it like in the background. So it almost sounds like there's fans or something blowing into the microphones, but there's not.
It's Mike's girlfriend.
She gives hummers.
Whoa!
Hey now.
So after that, I went out to
such a vast difference between the two podcasts.
Yes. After that, I went out to Anna to go visit with the Grace Point guys. They have a men's meeting on Saturday, so I went out there and hung out with them. Told them about the podcast, or the other podcast. Told them about that podcast. Sent everybody a link. Here's a link. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. So by Sunday, you know, we already had a bunch of feedback on it. A lot of feedback that we got, and so
constructive.
Far, I mean, yeah, constructive. Like everybody likes it. Let's see what else Sunday. That was really about it. We just kind of like stayed home because it was kind of gross outside on Sunday. On Saturday. Sunday was church, and then again just came back, stayed home. I played around with these cameras on Saturday evening, and they're a lot of fun. It's called the Mevo Start. Mevo Start. MEVO Start. And it's actually, they're like really neat. You can control it with your iOS app. There's a multicam beta that you can like hook up multiple cameras, and there's an auto director that's built into the software of the app itself, to where as you're talking, if you move, I guess, I don't know if it's distance or like proximity to the camera, or if it's motion or voice activated, but it'll automatically switch to the other camera, which I think is actually really neat. Of course, there's all kinds of color settings. I'm using the Mevo camera right now on the podcast. I think that the color replication is it seems really accurate.
Reproduction.
Thank you. That's the word I was thinking of. The color
Reproduction.
reproduction is really accurate. You've got HDR features. It shoots in 1080p at the highest resolution. There's also 720 and I think 360. But
NDI. Yeah, it's all
NDI compatible, and you can live stream directly to Facebook with the camera.
Dude, those cameras would work great To Catch a Predator. Because it would like automatically switch cameras.
Oh yeah.
That's a
so
weird
maybe
place
it
for
is.
your brain to go.
I know.
All right.
JT, this guy. I was gonna say they don't have the show anymore, but yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that was pretty much. Isaiah had his first haircut.
Hey,
He had his first haircut.
I saw the pictures. I saw the picture. He was pissed.
He cried, but it was more because a lot of his baby hair is real tangled up, like really, really tangled up. So the lady was trying to comb through it to straighten it out so she can cut it. After she got through the baby hair and was cutting, not having to brush his hair anymore, he was fine. He was fine, just watching cartoons, eating a chocolate chip cookie.
I know a lot of kids are scared of the sound from the hair.
She used scissors. So we had a certain style, like it's kind of like similar to me, but then she was like, well, we're gonna have to use clippers to fade it up, and she was like, I don't know if that's a good idea, especially for his first time. So I was like, yeah, we'll just stick with the cut then. But it turned out well. He did really good overall.
Nice. So did he sit in the rocket ship or?
He was gonna. We had the cars, Lightning McQueen, but he did not want to sit in there. So I just put him on my lap instead and held him. Yeah.
So good man. Good man.
Yeah. That's the weekend that I can think of. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but Underground Cigar Bar. Yeah, like
where's that at?
Fort Worth.
It's in East Fort Worth off of 820 and Lancaster.
Okay. Because I only know the two over here.
Yeah.
But I'm not a cigar aficionado.
I'm not either, but I think it's going to be really cool to do the live stream there.
Yeah. So the thing that we're doing is, for the listeners, is every year they have not a party, but they have a kind of a gathering where a bunch of, and this is not your normal cigar shop, they only deal in boutique cigars. So boutique cigars are not your prominent cigar families or brands that you may know from going into a normal tobacconist. These are people that have gone out and sourced tobacco, and they make their own blend of cigars and things like that. So it's kind of these guys are kind of out on the as far as like what a normal cigar shop is. These guys are kind of out on the fringe doing their own thing. And they have a big thing every year where they'll get together and they'll have a bunch of boutique cigar providers and purveyors come in, and you can buy things at a certain discount. Well, this year, with being in the pandemic, they're unable to do it like they've done in years past, where they've had people on site. So they'll have some people on site, and then they will have other people that are at their normal locales where they can be able to buy things, and they'll get shipped to them somehow or something like that. So Scott and Alan have started, the guy that owns the place is a friend of Scott's. So he asked him, he knows that we do the podcast and stuff. I was like, hey, can you do the streaming stuff for us? So Scott worked out a deal with him. Scott asked me if I would kind of MC the event.
I'm excited. I'm actually excited about that.
I am.
I can't think of, like, when he was I'm looking for someone to host it, and I was like, man, dude, I know the guy that you want to have host. You're very personable. You know your cigars. I'm excited to see this play out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I ran a cigar shop for a while. I started smoking cigars when I was 18. I ran a cigar shop. I was a manager at a cigar shop for a while. So, yeah, I mean, I know questions to ask and things along those lines. But, we'll see how it is. I think it'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. JT.
For Rizzo. Sorry.
Yeah, I've been out and about. Some slumlording, stupid City Irving, I'll call them out. They
I'll call him out.
they gave me a list of like stuff I needed to fix, and it was just like some of it was kind of like, oh, you have some ivy growing over the fence, you need to cut it. I'm like, the public sidewalk is over 10 feet away from that fence. So I don't know what that's hurting anybody.
My eyes.
Just like, yeah, a couple, it's just mainly cosmetic stuff.
I have to look at it.
So that was something I was working on, and then hanging out with family. I don't remember if we talked after the whole Snowmageddon, Snowvid, whatever you want to call it.
Snowvid.
Yeah. I housed some refugees from Carrollton.
Refugees. What are you doing, JT?
So my sister lost power, so I just had them stay with me.
You called your sister a refugee.
Yeah, during the week.
Hey man, I was a refugee. We had no power.
And then, I mean, luckily, no one in my family personally had any damages or whatever. But I was just hearing other people, like one of my friends, he's in Frisco, and he was on the part where they're like, he kept seeing the Encore app saying, "Oh, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours." He's like, so people would invite him to come over and be like, "Oh no, man, I heard, it'll be fixed in
2 hours."
Yeah. So he would just wait. And then, he had some pipes burst and whatnot. But again, I've been fortunate. Where I was, I mean, the worst issue was my kitchen sink froze, but I put a heater under the sink and I was fine. So other than that, I mean, just been doing my thing and hanging out. Nothing fantastic. Yesterday, I was in McKinney, downtown McKinney, and I went to a place called the Pantry. It was kind of good.
What is it? A restaurant?
Yeah, American style.
Okay.
I mean, it's like you walk in and you can feel someone on the other side of the room because the floorboards are kind of loose.
Yeah.
And they sell, let's see, they have, I forgot what they called, but basically they have boozy ice cream.
Oh, nice.
And the only kids' ice cream is like chocolate and vanilla.
That's all they need.
Yeah.
Not really,
So it was pretty good. Prices are reasonable. It's one of those you walk up to the counter and order, and then they bring it to your table.
Okay.
So yeah, just
right on.
Nothing fantastic. Just normal JT.
Scott, what do you got for us?
Man, so starting this little adventure we're going on is taking a lot of my time, so I don't do much besides sit around the computer trying to figure things out. So that's mainly my weekend. I did go to the cigar thing on Saturday. Let's see, I don't think I've did anything really. Watched WandaVision, which we'll get into later. Saturday came back up to Venture X where I'm at now and edited the audio and had all kinds of fun with that. And that is my life right now. It's kind of sad.
Well, it could be like me, where you just listen to nursery rhymes all day.
I love you.
No. It's all like Wheels on the Bus and the Please and Thank You song.
Are you into Blippi yet?
What are you thankful for? No, it's all Coco Melon right now.
Oh.
Coco Melon. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pantry looks old school, like old style restaurant. Like
Yeah.
back in
I
the
like
day.
it. It's a pretty good joint.
Is it on the square?
Yeah. I mean, no, technically, like just off the square. Like diagonally, I guess.
Like lunch and dinner only, or do they have like a brunch menu?
I think right now, according to Google, they do dinner only on the weekends.
Okay.
Or dine-in, sorry, dinner.
Yeah.
So it's probably because of COVID, but yeah, lunch and dinner.
Right on. All right. You guys want to take a break?
Sure. Let's take a break.
Okie dokie.
We'll be right back.
Right back.
And we're back. Let's see. So we can get into something. So I have a what grinds my gears that I can get into. It happened a little bit over the weekend. So my son's bio dad. I don't know. I've never seen somebody who is such a screw up have things handed to him kind of on a silver platter before. It's the weirdest thing I've seen in my life. And so for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and I've never seen somebody who has had so little, or produces so little and expect things to be handed to him. I don't understand the entitlement that goes along with this junk, and I'm sure it goes back to a whole bunch of like childhood stuff where his parents gave him lots of crap. But for the last several years he has been living at his father's house, not in the house but in a travel trailer that they have. And we were informed last week that his father and wife are moving to New Mexico, and
Okay.
which means he can't stay there anymore in that travel trailer. Well, then we found out that his grandfather, my son's great grandfather, is gonna buy him a house.
Nice.
Must be nice.
It's one of those things where it's like, what are you talking about? And I mean, listen, I've met his grandfather a couple of times. It's not, my son's great grandfather a couple of times. And for me, it's a whatever kind of a situation, but it's like, and I don't know. I mean, the man's in his 80s, and maybe he doesn't understand what houses cost nowadays, but apparently that's going to be his inheritance, is him getting this house. And I don't know if he's just going to do a down payment on it and he has to pay the payment. But it's one of those things that it's like, man, I've watched this guy screw up so much.
Yeah.
And live in a way that it's like nobody, where it's like he's, it's like he just accepts wherever he is. It's the weirdest shit in the world. It's like, all right. But it's just one of those things. It's a very much a, man, that grinds my gears. I can't imagine people screwing up so much and still expecting people to bail me out.
Is he expecting people to bail him out, or is this kind of just like,
I don't know if
it just happens?
It's one of those things where there is an expectation on his end, and we've done everything we can to limit our interactions with him as best we can.
Mm-hmm.
But but no, he does have this kind of weird expectation of, well, what am I going to do now, kind of a thing. Like, everyone's supposed to feel sorry for him. So I don't know. It's just one of those things now where I'm just like, man, they're going to buy him a house. How about you, instead of buying him a house, you invest in our son's college fund or whatever, whatever it is. Why are you doing this? So
How old is he?
he's in his mid-30s.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, he's 35 or 36. And I mean, and again, he's at one point in time, he was living in an apartment. Things didn't go well. He then moved in with his grandmother while she was, not doing well physically, and the reason he was moved in there was to help her with things. And then when she passed away, his mother had a house that they bought, and he lived there, kind of, rent free and all of that kind of stuff.
Seriously, rent free?
Yeah, and then he moved out of there because they sold the house because his mother's husband's kids. I mean, it was like, this is the place we're going to stick our kids that are losers, and his stepbrother and sister were addicts and started stealing stuff. And so he moved out of, I can't remember if he moved out of there or they just said, we're going to sell this house and be done with it. And then that's when he moved in to the trailer on his parents' property. And it's just like, how is this a thing that is...
There's quite a few people out there like that.
But it's this weird sense of entitlement, and it's like, man, I can't deal with that kind of crap. So yeah, it's one of the, and here's the thing, I'm all for helping people that are, who are willing to help themselves. There are people that are out there and they're busting their ass, and they got, they have kids, and the jobs they have don't make that much money, and so on and so forth. And I get that stuff, but this guy has had every opportunity handed to him, and he just squanders it. It's just weird. Anyway, it grinds my gears for the moment.
Was he molested as a kid?
He was just a fuck up. I mean, he was a fuck up so bad that his parents sent him to military school. And he could never get it through his head that, how to straighten up and fly right in military school. So, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't
know. That
know.
doesn't sound fun.
No, listen, it's one of those things, I'm sure, like, if he told his story, it would be this big, long, sad sack, woe is me, I got, handed the shit into the stick. But I know the other side of the story, and how he treated my son, and how he has acted his entire, since I've known him, he's been a complete screw up. So it's like, I have no sympathy for the guy. I mean, it was one of those things where, he and I, we've never come to blows, but I've been mad enough too. There was one time when my son was little that he asked back when my wife was still a cosmetologist and doing hair, he asked her to come over and do his new girlfriend's hair. And my wife, being nice, and we're trying to have this, we're trying to have a civil relationship between, with my son's biological father, and do all of these things. And she goes over there to do his hair, brings our son, because why wouldn't she? Just another reason to, it's another time where he would be able to see his dad.
They can hang out, yeah.
And could hang out. And when he got home from work, he comes home from work and he goes back into the bedroom and immediately starts smoking the joint. And my wife called me and was like, what do I do? And I said, finish your hair and get the F out of there. And then I called him and I read him the fucking riot act. I was like, how dare you do that? What the hell? You just decide that this is how you're going to, that kind of stuff. When my son was even younger than that, we took him to, you pack a bag for your kid when they go stay somewhere. I mean, Alan, your son stays with your, with your parents all the time.
Yeah.
You pack a bag for the weekend. Well, it was his dad's turn to have him, and he must have been 3 or 4. And he had a pair of red socks that he loved. Kids get attached to weird stuff. So socks were clean. He wanted to put on his red socks. And when we dropped him off on Friday and we picked him up Sunday evening, he was still in the same red socks and the same underwear. And he hadn't changed clothes or taken a bath in 3 days. Like, and we had it out about that shit. And I mean, it was one of those things. And for a long time, we were really, when Melissa and I first started dating, they were going through the Attorney General for custody stuff. And Melissa wasn't looking for anything, you know what I mean? But it was just time to go through the custody stuff. His parents went and got him a lawyer. Melissa didn't have a lawyer. She was going through the Attorney General. So when that happened, we go to meet up the day of custody and all of that stuff. And they're like, well, who are you? And I said, well, I'm her boyfriend. And they're like, okay, well, I'm sorry, you can't come into this meeting, which made sense. That's fine.
Sure. Yeah.
This dude shows up. At the time, he was valet parking cars. And he shows up to court to go before a judge in shorts and his valet polo and a baseball cap. And his parents spent all this money, and we didn't change anything. That was the only thing that was changed in the custody agreement or anything like that was Melissa at the time was not allowed to live outside of Tarrant County. Mm-hmm. And we made a caveat in there that, because at the time I was working in Dallas County. I was like, well, let's ask if we can have it amended to where you can work in both, we could live in both Dallas and Tarrant County. And the only thing that he added to that was the ability to change my son's last name to his last name, or to hyphenate, because his name isn't on the his last name is not on the, my son doesn't have his last name. And
Yeah.
so we gave him that right, and he never exercised it, never once. And it's like, he's just this big turd. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of those things where it's like, and I can go on and on about stuff, about times where he's, had jobs and lost jobs, and it's always for like dumb insubordinations, crap, like just not doing his work or playing on the computer instead of doing his work or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I'm sure to hear his story, it's like, oh, I had such a rough whatever. And it's like, at some point in time, your childhood, you can't blame anything that you're doing
You
on your
gotta own
childhood
up,
anymore.
man.
You
That's
gotta
true.
own up and be be an adult.
Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah, so even at 35, people are still bailing this moron out. And it just grinds my gears.
Are his parents rich?
No, his mom, his mother and stepfather several years ago moved to North Carolina. Just picked up and moved, sold their house, sold this house that he was living in at one point in time, and moved to North Carolina. And then I don't know what his dad did, but I mean they're middle class, they're middle class. I don't see them. They all lived in like Johnson County, so they had, so they weren't living in like regular neighborhoods. They all had, like, his dad had, probably 3 or 4 acres or whatever, but it wasn't this, giant spread, or, they're not super wealthy. He's just this guy that feels the world owes him shit. So
Terrible.
whatever. Terrible. Anyway,
that's annoying to deal with.
That's
And
frustrating.
to
for sure.
see, yeah, it is frustrating.
the thing that I'm lucky about is about 5 years ago, our son came to my wife and I and told us he didn't want to go spend any more time with his dad anymore, because he felt every time he went over there, he didn't spend time with him. It was, his dad would stay up till 2:00 in the morning playing, video games or doing whatever, but not spend time with his kid.
Yeah.
WoW and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, it was. And so at that point in time, I told my son that we would do everything that we could, and I played it smart, and I called every member of his immediate family, so his mother, his father, and his sister, and told them, I said, this is what Xander wants, and we're going to enforce that, and just letting you know, so if there is a court struggle or whatever, I'm letting you guys know first, because this guy has no money. And they're like, oh, we were expecting this for years. And it was like, then why'd you keep bailing him out, giving him money and hiring lawyers and shit? So, my son hasn't seen his father on a consistent basis in 5 years. So
It's terrible.
It's holidays. I mean, the fucker didn't even call him on his birthday or send him a text on his birthday.
That's what, like, I don't understand. It's like, what's the point?
That
Why
sucks, man.
have a kid?
Well, I mean, he wasn't necessarily planned, but it's one of those things. Then, I mean, he could
It's
absolve
like one of those things,
his
just-
rights at any point in time.
Yeah, just like give it up at the very beginning and don't even try then. That's how I see it. If
No,
you weren't planning
agree.
on being a part of it anyways.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I agree with that too. WandaVision.
Wanda.
Man, what an episode! What an episode!
Yeah.
Man, White Vision.
It was all flashbacks.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Did you guys?
I was like, White
Did you guys
Vision.
watch the mid-credit scene?
Yes.
Scott, did you watch the mid-credit scene?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
wait.
So
The mid credits. Oh, yeah, the mid credit. There wasn't a commercial this week, was there?
there
No,
was not.
Okay.
Everything took place in
the now.
real time.
So
Or
like supposedly
yeah, not
everything that they flashbacked on had a correlation with the commercials. So like the Stark bomb had a correlation with the Stark toaster, etc.
did it. I didn't catch that then.
Yeah, but Agatha was holding her hostage in her downstairs dungeon and had rune set up so she couldn't do her own the magic that she normally does. And then it was basically a flashback episode showing everything that Wanda had gone through, a bunch of stuff that we hadn't seen before. They did a little bit of retconning in there, and when she was with her parents in the and the bomb came in, she used a probability hex to make sure that the bomb didn't go off while they were there for 2 days. And it's a what a I mean, it's but previously before that, all that we knew was that we all assumed that Wanda got her power from the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
But now it's that fact that she was always had powers.
Yeah, it just inherently her and Pietro unlocked the power because they, like you said, they retconned where they said all the other volunteers died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what that has going forward. There's rumor that could be that she and Pietro have a mutant gene, and that's how they're going to kind of bring mutants into the wider world of the MCU. But no, man, what a great episode. I thought it was the scene where they were in Avengers Tower and Vision was talking to her, and one of the greatest lines I think I've ever heard in any TV show or movie. They were talking about grief and how grief is just, love that's been turned up to a higher emotion when somebody isn't there. What is grief if it's not love being shown? And it's like, oh man, what a heartbreaking moment. Going through and finding out that Wanda didn't break in and steal Vision's body. That
I'm still confused about that.
So it looks like for 5 years they were trying to bring Vision back online as a sentient weapon.
Yeah.
And Wanda came up there and she was like, I want to take him home. And so they, I want to bury him.
Yeah.
And so she goes up and he opens the curtain and shows these people, with, belt sanders and grinders taking Vision apart. And he even said, the director of S.W.O.R.D. was like, maybe you could bring him back. And so she breaks the window and goes down there, and she tries to, she says, I don't feel you anymore. And then she leaves and she goes off to New Jersey. And she then manifests when she has her like psychotic break. She manifests, she changes everything in the town. She builds the house and manifest Vision all out of her own mind.
Yep.
And so the physical form of Vision was still at the S.W.O.R.D. headquarters.
But didn't at the beginning of the show they alluded that she stole his body?
They alluded to it, but it was never implicit. I mean,
I thought there was video of her showing her breaking in.
But the video, if you go back and watch it, it's all of the camera angles that we saw when she was walking down those halls, but no one was trying to stop her or anything.
Yeah.
And the breaking of the glass was when she broke the glass and flew down to that down to the floor to where his body was being kept. Mm-hmm. So he lied when he said this is Wanda breaking in to steal Vision's body. That's why everybody thought that, but that wasn't the case at all. So
okay, so then I got another question.
Sure.
what the hell was he tracking inside the hex if Vision's body was not inside the hex? Because remember they said they were tracking
the vibranium decay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Wanda made Vision,
or she
again,
manifested,
so
like actually another
she
copy
bent
of him.
reality. Yeah, she
Okay.
bent reality, or at least that's what it seems so far. So there is.
And Agatha was impressed with the power and how she did everything. So it could have been.
Yeah, it seemed like Agatha just kept asking, like, just wanting to know, how did you do this? How did you create?
How did you get to this powerful level? So
Yes.
it's like basically
and was more like, show me how to do the same.
Yeah,
thing.
she doesn't believe
yeah.
that basically it was all an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once she saw what happened, it was, I mean, that was like the very end scene with Agatha and Wanda and the two kids. It was her saying that, you know, you're using this type of magic, which they're calling chaos magic, and you are the Scarlet Witch, which is really cool because inside the MCU, she's never been called the Scarlet Witch ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So naming her like that is a big deal because usually they don't do that stuff often. So I think that'll be really cool for them to see what comes of all of that stuff. So, and then in the end of the episode, the mid-credit scene is the director of S.W.O.R.D. now using the drone that still had some of Wanda's chaos magic tied to it, and using that to power up Vision's body, his corpse, and they do, and now it's White Vision, and White Vision is a callback from old comics that
West Coast Avengers.
The West Coast Avengers, where it's where Vision basically has no soul, and ultimately he is the embodiment of what Ultron was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it'll
So
be,
what happened was like
so White Vision will be a good guy.
White Vision is just in the
he doesn't
comics,
make any
he's
emotional
more-
decisions.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just
Logic.
there. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
all computer. He's all logic. He's all whatever. And it will be very interesting because it'll be very interesting to see if they give him Ultron's voice. If
James Spader
comes
supposed
back
to be coming back.
to do the voice of
Yeah,
White.
that'd be cool.
And yeah, because when they were recreating him, like supposedly they did something where they couldn't bring the color back to him, so that's why he's white. Which I didn't even realize because I was playing. I used to have the Super Nintendo version of Captain America and the Avengers,
Mm.
and it was White Vision, and I was like, that was the first time I've ever seen him. I was like, man, this guy, he's a shitty ass powers, and he's like looks corny. Because you could be Hawkeye, you could be Vision, you could be Captain America, or you could be
Wolverine.
no, there's four. Who's the fourth one?
No Wolverine.
I
Hawkeye,
thought it was
Vision,
Wolverine
Captain
because I
America.
remember
Scott Summers.
No, Iron Man was the fourth one.
Yeah.
I think I remember the arcade version where it was a 4-player arcade version.
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
You know what bothers me is that the captain or director Haywood keeps calling him the Vision.
The Vision.
That's what it is. He is the Vision. That's the thing. I mean, even if like I saw something online and because he bought that plot of land in Westview to build their house, the place to grow old with, and on the deed to the house it says the Vision.
Yeah, and that also bothers me as a surveyor because that's not accurate at all.
Of course.
That's not how deeds look.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Was it just me, or did that town look like real shitty? Like when they were driving through that
It
town,
was like
I
a run
what?
downtown, right?
I was like, it really
just
looked
looked like a
run
small
down to
town.
me. Well, it looked run down for a house that was, it looked like that foundation had been built there, or they were starting to do
Like
it.
the house
and that
was,
was
like,
a
knocked
weird
down or
looking
something.
foundation. Yeah, and it was like, because it didn't look like a subdivision that's being built, and it didn't look like that house was being worked
Well,
on.
and
'Cause
like,
it seemed like a bunch of weeds and stuff, and it was like,
if
that's
your neighbor
weird.
has a basement, I would imagine you would have a basement, and there was no you know,
Yeah.
flooring or anything like that. It's just like it's
It was just
mean,
weird to
we're
me. I
getting-
was like, man,
getting technical for a comic book show, guys.
no, but I mean, as she's
Like,
driving
how
through
the hell
the
did
town,
he just
like,
float like that?
no, but as she's driving through that town and stuff, I just looked at it. I was like, this town looks run down.
Mhm.
This doesn't look like it doesn't look like a great place to live or whatever. It just looked run down to me.
Yeah, and then I mean, I guess I thought that'd be kind of neat where they're like she's seeing all these people who become characters later in her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Yeah.
It's like
Right.
that guy was just a pizza delivery guy. Now he's the milkman. He can't upgrade his job.
Yeah.
Still doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Poor Joe.
Uh,
Anything else on WandaVision? Well, we got 2 episodes left.
One.
It's only 9 episodes. I thought it was 10.
9 episodes. This is the last episode.
Okay.
And I don't know if I don't know if we're gonna have a season 2 of WandaVision or if this will be it, and then we'll have the other Marvel, TV shows
yeah.
on Disney Plus, and then we'll start getting into the, we'll see what happens as stuff goes through. So
I'm a little
I don't
excited
know.
they're bringing Punisher back. Yeah,
are they?
are they?
I believe
'Cause
so. I believe
What
that's
was
what I
the
read this
whole
week.
kickback with the logo and all that stuff?
I don't know about that. I was just excited. That was
People were
probably my
wearing his
favorite one.
logo while they in general a lot of people been wearing his logo. It's a cool looking logo, but
Yeah.
but vigilantes and whatnot, like, so a lot of people who stormed the Capitol were wearing that logo.
Well, I mean, that's something that a lot of special forces people have worn for a long time.
Yeah, and then
Or not a long
but like
time,
the creator
in the
and
last 15 years. Yeah.
the creator in Marvel, like, this is not what it stands for, guys.
Yeah.
He's for
So,
justice, not for stuff
well,
like that.
are they going to have John Barenthal come back and play the Punisher again? It'd be someone
Man,
different.
I hope
'cause-
so.
So do I, because listen, if you have a Netflix account, go watch The Punisher. Go watch The Punisher on Netflix. It stands alone, and both seasons are amazing. And
Okay.
John Barenthal is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
pick
he
it
is. Yeah, he is.
I would.
Who was
you
the other
need
Punisher?
to watch
Thomas Jane?
if you're gonna watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the
Yes,
movie, in one of the iterations, it was him.
Yeah.
But I would say, you need to watch if you want all of the Netflix Punisher, you need to watch Daredevil season 2.
Yep.
And then and then you need to watch 2 seasons of the Punisher, because he starts out in Daredevil season 2 as a character, and there's a really great fight scene between he and Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Wilson Fisk, or the Kingpin.
The Kingpin.
If you haven't watched,
I heard he was a good Kingpin.
he was
Yeah,
an
he was.
amazing Kingpin. It was.
I didn't watch Daredevil
Those-
or
oh.
Arrow or
No, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Watch Daredevil, all 3 seasons of Daredevil, and watch Punisher.
it's a lot of TV.
You can skip. I would say you can skip the Defenders. You can skip Jessica Jones if you want to, and you can skip
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
Iron
and what-
Fist's got a lot of negative stuff, but I actually liked Iron Fist.
I didn't like.
who has a
actor.
cooler van, the Ninja Turtles or the Punisher?
Hold on, man. Let's go back to.
I'm just saying, because like in the Punisher,
fuck?
he could like talk to his. It was called the battle van. He'd be like, battle van, fire whatever missiles, and then like it was basically like Kit but a van.
Okay. What was the deal with? Damn it, JT. Iron
So-
Fist.
What deal are you talking about?
It was really about the
negative-
actor.
Oh.
He was actually in Game of Thrones, and but yeah, people didn't like him as Iron Fist.
He wasn't. Yeah, the storyline wasn't that great. It was okay, but the actor who played Iron Fist was. it just wasn't the right fit. Where everything else, I mean, everything's supposed to be gritty, and this guy kind of played it like, I don't know. You could substitute Iron Fist with woke dude bro, and that's how it seemed like
dude bro.
That's how it seemed like he played it to me. It wasn't that great. You can skip Iron Fist. You can probably skip Jessica Jones if you want to.
We missed one.
Luke Cage.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I liked Luke Cage. I thought it followed a little too close to the tropes of like 70s blaxploitation, but I think they did. But that was done on purpose. But it was pretty good. The first season of Jessica Jones was really good though, with David Tennant as the Purple Man. That was really good. It's totally worth going back and watching those shows, those Marvel shows that were on Netflix. I'm sure they'll pull them down at some point in time.
Okay, so Daredevil season 2,
and then Punisher. And then Punisher 1 and 2.
Okay. All right, I'll look it up.
And if you're gonna watch Daredevil season 2, watch Daredevil season 1.
Yep,
might as well.
Yeah.
All right. So it makes sense.
Fit it all in.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Wait, he's blind?
He is blind.
That's how like Spider-Man got his powers, right? Yeah.
I would really love for them to if they bring in Daredevil and Punisher to the MCU. It's been long enough to where Netflix doesn't have a hold on that stuff anymore.
Yeah, it was like 3 years or something they had to wait.
It's 2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
But now I would totally hope that they bring the guy that played Daredevil in as Daredevil. They bring in, even if they have to do a reboot for an origin or any of that stuff. Same thing with Punisher. I would much rather see John Barenthal and I can't remember the guy.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But he's the
Ben
Daredevil.
Affleck, guys. Ben Affleck.
No.
But it was they did such a great job. So anyway, let's spin a wheel.
Bring that wheel. Let's make a deal.
Can you see it? It's tiny, isn't it?
It's burly.
It's tiny.
All right, here we go, guys. There's a soup and cereal. I'm slacking, guys.
Well, if we get it, just respin. Yeah, we can't hear any of the audio from the
Boo.
wheel. All right, read the question.
All right. If a vaccine was available tomorrow that protected you from everything but made you violently
this is my
ill.
question.
Yeah,
This is my question. So, if there was a vaccine that came out tomorrow that protected you from everything, however, you were violently ill, I think 30 days is what I put in there.
Yep.
For 30 days, would you take it?
That's just like my poop question.
Is it?
Yeah, like
Poop question.
if you didn't have to poop for 364 days in the year, but you were one really bad day, would you do it? Yes.
One really bad day? Sure, I'd save some
Would you
time.
know what? Well, I would want to know what time, what day out of the 364.
I mean, eventually you could
You get to
probably
pick the
schedule
day?
it, right?
Well, do you get to pick the day? Do you know it's coming? Is it like, okay, it's March 4th, it's coming up? Or
That'd
is
be
it
shitty, like if you didn't know. It's like every
no
day
pun
you're like,
intended.
is it
Well,
tomorrow? Is it
there you
tomorrow?
go. That's what I mean, though. Yeah, is it tomorrow? Can I eat the hot wings today and be okay? But yeah, I guess it is. I guess it is kind of similar to your question.
But yeah, I'd do it. I mean, how long is it? Indefinite?
Yes, indefinite.
Okay. Why not?
No, I'm going to say no. 30 days of living hell is not good for me.
What do you mean by violently ill?
Oh, like
No, that's what like,
Crying from your butthole. Yeah.
there
I
you
mean,
go.
like, is it just like, is it sick to my stomach? Am I like in bed, damn near hospitalized? Give me a parameter on what violently ill looks like in this situation.
Violently ill. It's flowing out of both ends.
Projectile vomit.
Yeah, it's
But
coming
it's-
out both ends.
But it's
and-
not bad enough where I have to be hospitalized and have IVs.
No, nothing like that. No.
Yes, I would. in a minute. And I am then protected from all diseases.
Ever?
Like STDs.
Yeah.
STD. Oh, I'm in then.
Of course. he
Oh,
did.
I'm in there. Look at this guy.
No, it only prevents
Now
future
he's like,
ones.
I'm in.
Future
Yeah,
ones.
just future ones. No, anything you already got, it stays.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. That was a fun question. I don't know if I would do it. Just violently ill doesn't sound fun to me. Not at all. I mean, the pros.
Payout though.
Yes, the pros definitely outweigh the cons because now you're protected from everything. Like
No pain, no gain.
you can never get sick again.
Yep. No, I do it. Oh, but you know what? If that goes on your record and you can say that, that means that you can't call out sick to work when you're not sick.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't be like, "Oh man,
That's
my
true.
stomach really hurts. I'm not."
You
feeling
could
great
say, "Well, I
today.
just got the
My
shot like 3 days ago, so I'm violently ill." It's not gonna.
Yeah, but you can't. But it's one of those things where, you know, eventually, if you stay with a company long enough, they're gonna know. So it's not like, because everybody has had that day where they're just like, "Man, I'm not going in today. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna call in and say I'm sick because I need a mental health day, but I can't tell
Yeah.
my boss
Like
that
this
it's a mental
vaccine
health
doesn't
day.
work for hangovers. Just saying.
Yeah.
Is that the episode
Oh,
where they
that
swallow the
worked for
Epicac?
hangovers?
Yes.
If it was, if this vaccine worked for hangovers, that'd be
Mm.
great. That'd be amazing.
Hmm.
Anyway, let's wrap it up, sir.
All right. Closing remarks. Anything?
None for me.
I like to.
March 18th. Is it March 18th? For
March
the Zack Snyder
Oh.
Justice League.
Ooh.
I'm just curious. I just want to know.
As long as it's better than.
I'm ready to see the dang thing. I mean, with everybody talking about it and how there's been so much controversy about it, just put it out already so I can watch it.
As long as it's better than the one that came out in the theaters, I'm happy. Because the one that came out in the theaters was dog crap.
Have y'all seen the quote unquote dinner that's supposed to enhance your viewing pleasure that goes with it?
No.
I'll send y'all the link.
Okay. All right, wrap it up, sir.
All right. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us at theweekenda2z@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facegram and Instabook on the World Wide Web at A to Z Weekend. Past that, anchor.fm/A to Z Weekend, where you will find all 11 locations for our podcast, including Spotify. Woo!
All right, guys, we will see you on the flip flop.
Olive
Pow,
juice.
pow.
Hey, welcome to
I'm trying to keep it
Costco.
from doing all this.
I love you.
See ya.
You can't do background blur, or is that? I know like
Oh,
you can
wait.
do that on Teams, but I don't know if Zoom.